David and his team at Black Badger know that no software is perfect, but they do believe there's a platform that's the best fit for your needs in every area of your business, from project management to CRM, from billing software to CPQ tools. That's why they've developed a consultative approach to guide customers through their software evaluation process and determine the right platform for their needs, with an implementation and training plan to make sure that the right platform is actually used. If you're struggling with the decision to find the right project management platform or any other tool in your tech stack, I'd encourage you to hear what Black Badger has to say. They may be able to help.
The initial service we always deliver is like a bit of a consult for any customer. It doesn't matter if you already like the platform you're in and you just want to better utilize it, or if you don't, platform is right for you. And the reason, again, for those who don't know, we actually partner with dozens of platforms for the very reason I actually don't believe any platform is perfect. But one platform is more perfect for you than another. That's why we work together so well, because you guys agree with our philosophy in that my loyalty is to my customers. So that being said, what we do is we really go through our customers' needs and wants. What exactly are you trying to accomplish? How do you want it to look? How do you want it to function? And make sure that we find the correct platform. And that way they're not wasting time looking at other platforms, other systems that look flashy. Do they really actually handle their needs, because they might not, or they might actually do it, but they didn't realize that's how it worked or that's what it looked like. So we just make sure that it is an appropriate, and we do find the platform that is perfect for customers. We're happy to say that Teamwork is a fantastic product. We do very frequently recommend it because it checks a lot of boxes.
Absolutely. I appreciate that and definitely agree with your approach, David, of looking at the customer's environment. What's their existing tech stack? What are their workflows? What is going to be the best suit for their operations? And then matching the right tools, the right features, the right applications to those. And appreciate, calling out Teamwork as a fantastic tool in your team's opinion. That means a lot because you guys look at a lot. You've worked with and handled and consulted on a variety of project management tools, CRM systems, financial systems, a lot of different platforms. So it does mean a lot coming from your team. David, what would you guys say are the types of customers that get the most value out of Black Badger services? Certain industries, size, or stage of company? What are some of those common criteria that you see your customers that are just raving fans of Black Badger?
Originally, we wanted to focus on specific niches like construction or healthcare. And to be completely honest, we started getting requests and word of mouth to a number of industries. And so I stopped trying to focus on a specific industry and then really focused on company size. So that being said, we will work with teams as small as 3 to 5 people. We can be very affordable. And then we can scale up to handle teams of 500 to 1,000. I would really say 1,000 stretching for a single team. And that's kind of the maximum for us, right? But anything in between that, we really can handle it. We've done hundreds of jobs in healthcare, construction, retail, IT companies, a lot of marketing agencies. That's just kind of what we do. I haven't really decided to discriminate against any particular business or industry. So yeah, it's really just the team size.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of ways to niche down and to specialize. It's not always just simply based on industry or vertical market, right? I've seen in my business career companies and platforms that help a certain horizontal market or a certain size or stage of company, right? We see that a lot in the tech space. So David, tell us a little bit. Obviously, you and I have had conversations offline about how this partnership came to be from your side. But I'd love for you to share a little bit about what made you want to join the Teamwork Solution Partner Program. I think maybe a little bit about your exposure and experience with Teamwork, conversations internally and with customers before we engaged. And then also, after you learned a little bit about how we approach partnerships at Teamwork, which is your and my first conversation, a little bit of that story for folks to set the context for where we're going to go next, which is how customers can get value out of this partnership.
Absolutely. So Every platform we touch that we want to work with, we actually we don't immediately jump into a partnership. We actually want to test it. We try it out. We usually even get a couple customers who ask us about it. We worked with it, and then we evaluate against how valuable we think it could be to the customers, and we listen to our customers' feedback and what do they find useful or not useful, and do we find ourselves really finding that platform's uh, capabilities and features useful or not? Do they get more complaints than they do praise? And once we start dealing with platform and we're like, internally, we're like, wow, we really like this thing. The features are great. It's not just that it has the features, it's the ease of use, the UI, how easy it is to pick it up for the customers. Is it easy to train them? And so that's when we really decide, hey, we want to partner with these people because we see a real good future. We really strongly recommend the platform. um, and we want more people on it because we think it can actually help individuals' businesses. So when we had worked with Teamwork for a while before we even spoke, we were really at the point that we really liked Teamwork. And then it was almost like right when we were like, wow, Teamwork is really such a great platform. You emailed me out of the blue and I was like, I had just been thinking I really want to partner with Teamwork. And then that was it. I answered you back within minutes and I was like, let's talk. And we just took it from there. And already we've worked on some pretty large projects together and, really helping teams greater size, 25, 50 plus users. And it really is like, it's nice to have a platform like we do heavily recommend. It applies to a lot of industries and it's very versatile.
Yeah, I can remember that first email exchange and our first conversation, and I will say you're just as speedy on email replies as that first interaction. And you mentioned there are some of the areas, even within the first few months of our partnership kicking off, having some opportunity to work together to solve some customer needs and be able to deliver some results. I'd love for you to share a little bit about one of those instances. What was the problem the customer was facing? How were you and your team able to leverage Teamwork and some of the results they've seen out the other side, or their experience at least going through that process and seeing the benefits of this combination between our two companies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a company that was interested in consolidating their software. They were operating in multiple platforms that they didn't really have control over, and they really wanted one space to work. I'm going to say this right now. I am a huge fan of Teamwork One because I really feel like all the products in your suite are fantastic. And again, when you get all of them, you get a fantastic discount. And they work so well together. They just gel. And it was a fantastic suite of products to give this company between having their desk, project management. They could track their invoices against every single project, every single person working, and everything worked in one suite. It was just so great. They were able to eliminate quite a few platforms because they stayed with the chat platform. I believe that they dropped out of another intranet type software and went to Team Workspace. It just worked out so well. And every single time the customer was like, okay, what about this? What about this? Teamwork checked that box, and not only checked it, but they liked the way it looked. They liked the look and feel of it. And it was a very easy training process for them. So what we actually had initially factored in, I think 30 to 50 hours of training. They were a large team, but it ended up being less than half of that for everyone. And it worked really well with them, and they were happy with the result. And we were happy with the result of how well they picked.
Yeah, I think there's one thing to say, the ability to consolidate, have multiple applications that talk to each other really well, gel, as you put it. But also, hey, what does that look like? What is the usability of each of those when you do bundle the different platforms together, like Desk, CRM, Spaces, Teamwork, the project management core of it. And I think that's really telling that you guys estimated a certain amount of training and then less than half of that was actually needed. It speaks to that second part that is so important in that rollout and user adoption, because it's great to say, hey, we have all these applications that fit nicely together, whether they come bundled together like our Teamwork One solution, or if you've custom built something for a customer. If it doesn't actually roll out well and people don't actually start using all of the components of it, then that bundled aspect is a little bit lost. And I think that's true, whether that's an out of the box bundle or a custom software solution. So I love that. David, you've been a big proponent of that sort of approach with Teamwork. And as you mentioned, your team had some experience with Teamwork prior to this partnership. So you guys have gotten to know the ins and outs of the software a good bit. What's one thing about the platform that your team is constantly bringing up to customers? Maybe one of those, I didn't know Teamwork could do that moment, a tip or a trick or a feature that you guys are often calling out.
I will tell you the single factor that I have found. I'm not saying it's the best or whatever. I'm just saying this just happens to come up the most, which is actually having project management aspect where you can tie in the financials and actually integrate with QuickBooks Online. That has actually been one of the biggest things, because other platforms, they don't do it, where they don't do it easily. And Teamwork was just so fantastic the way it could. You can assign POs to every project. You can then associate work, build work, different rates per project, different rates per PO, different rates per person. And it's so versatile, and very few platforms can do that easily. I have worked with other platforms where we can make it work, but that just comes down to, some software is more perfect for your use case than others. And in this case, a lot of people, as software is advancing, they're like, we have projects. We don't just want to see the steps in sequence. We want to know, is this project profitable? Are we making money? How much money are we making? What does this look like into the future? What are the analytics or KPIs that go into this project? And then people learn from that. Businesses can say, great, it wasn't profitable, or it was, and they can make decisions that change the way they execute their projects to be more profitable and better for the client. And Teamwork allows that flexibility that very few other platforms can do. Or other platforms can do it, but it's really complex. And I found the simplicity of it with Teamwork, as well as the fact that it just works really well, to be probably the number one factor. It's why I recommend Teamwork. I'm also going to say one thing. Because we work with so many platforms, the differences are minute at times. Okay. And it really is the minute factors that determine which platform is better than another. It really is, because I can show you 10 different platforms that can all do the exact same thing. But then when the customer looks at it, they're like, that's not what I wanted, because they have envisioned something and how they want the data to come in and how they want the data to go out. And if it's not what they anticipated, then it's what they wanted. It doesn't matter if the platform does it. So it's these little nuances that make all the difference in the world. This is one of those little nuances of Teamwork that make all the difference.
That's very well said. I mean, I've been in B2B sales and marketing for my entire career. And as I'm active on LinkedIn or just consuming content, I hear people say, oh, people don't care about your product and da, 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 da. And I think there's an element of that in your marketing that you have to get beyond just marketing your product, even as we're talking benefits of the Teamwork platform right now. At the same time, I am one of those technical buyers that if I'm on a demo or I'm on a call with a salesperson and I'm evaluating a new platform, I do not just let it go that, yes, we integrate with that. Is it bidirectional? What does that look like? What do I need to do to set that up? How easy is it to use? Show me how that works. And so I know that if I'm like that, there are definitely, maybe not every buyer approaches it with that technical lens like maybe you and I do, but there are a fair amount, and it does make a difference, even if they don't approach it that same way, because like you said, at the end of the day, what they're envisioning, what's going to drive adoption is going to impact, quote unquote, if it actually does it for them. So I think that is a great call out.
Like I mentioned earlier, in my consulting, that's specifically why we do it. Because I don't know how many times people come to us saying, we really like platform A. I go, great. It's a fantastic platform, but let's just do a little bit of consulting before you spend the dollars on it. And next thing you know, they're like, oh, it has to do this. And they said it does it. And I was like, hold the boat. And then we actually discuss it. And I go, it does not do it the exact way. And I'll even show them. And they're like, wow, I had no idea. That's not what I just took it. I took them at their word that it does what I wanted, and it doesn't. That's why we really focus on these little nuances and differences between the software.
I think I have an idea of where you're going to go with this, David, because of really your focus on that consultation of going deep with a customer's needs, matching that to the right platform and the right rollout of that platform. But I really think that there's a lot of exponential value that customers can get when they have the right platform that's most perfect for them, as you put it earlier. I'm going to borrow your words there. And then the expertise of the partner, that the combination there is almost more exponential than it is additive applied to the right situations. So similar to what you said, every platform isn't perfect for everyone. There are situations that are maybe more ideal for this combination of the power of the Teamwork platform and the expertise of Black Badger. What are some of those scenarios or some of those criteria where you think this combination could be the most powerful for a given customer?
Where I think we would shine is if someone's looking for more of it, like they actually want a tech stack. They're not really looking for one tool. Or in the consultation, they think they want one thing. And then I say, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And they'll either say, I didn't even know something could do that. Or is that a possibility to have these things work together really well? And, or they just go, that's a lot of manual work. And I go, it's not, it can be completely automated. You would never have to touch this. And so it's when they really have a lot of tools or a lot of disjointed actions. They really want an actual technical stack that works together really well. That's when I'm like, okay, I already start leaning towards the teamwork side of things, saying, let's get some more details. Let's really pull this apart and see what would be fantastic for you. And I think, and I hope that that answers your question, because that's really when I hear someone who really wants to expand their business and they really want a great technical tool, that's what makes me go, good. They're serious about their business and they want the real thing, they want the real deal and the tools that will help them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think folks that are willing to look at their entire tech stack, that are willing to stop at some of their assumptions of this is the right tool for us or there isn't a right tool for us. We've been through 10, they're all wrong. That willingness to partner with someone like yourself who has the expertise to look at a lot of different systems, as we mentioned before, between PM and financial and CRM and help desk and document management and all these different areas, right? I think those are the situations that are really tailor-made for customers to get the most out of Teamwork and this combination of our partnership with you guys at Black Badger. David, you mentioned a good bit about financial integration as well as profitability on projects. Outside of that, what are some of the other things that you're excited features and capabilities of Teamwork that you've been excited to bring to more of your customers since we've been partnering and you guys have been keeping an eye on how the Teamwork platform has been evolving and growing? What's top of mind that you're looking to leverage for your customers in the year ahead?
So it's gonna sound simple, but this is huge, which is the user interface of Teamwork, and how simple but powerful, because there's this fine line of simplicity and features. And typically when you go, I want simplicity, the features also comes down, because it's like you can't have features and simplicity. And so if you have all the features you want, it's really complex. And I found that you're really doing one of the best jobs at breaking the mold and having simplicity, which is great, but features up here. And that, again, it sounds simple, but it's a huge thing. People look at platforms and they go, I don't want it to look too busy, but I still need it to do what I want it to. It needs to be easy on the eyes. It actually needs to look appealing. Or you wouldn't be surprised at how many people don't like using platforms because they just don't like the look of it. They don't find it appealing. They don't find it aesthetic. I find Teamwork, and a lot of our customers find Teamwork very aesthetic with its less is more approach. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge deal. And because of that, it's really easy to train. It's really easy to navigate farming. Users find that so
Mhm.
helpful. And it's just like, no, go here and do this. It's not like, okay, you see one of those 14 boxes, go to the third one from the left. You don't have any of that in teamwork. It's just so easy. Just go to the settings, go to this, and there you go, and it's right there. And so the training of our customers on teamwork is always, I found us overestimating more often than, and just because it's so easy to learn. Your academy is fantastic. Everything about it, just those two simple features alone are actually huge when it comes to dealing with our customer base. And those are some of the most important things that actually,
Yeah. In a service-based business like yours, the ability to not have to spend too much time training customers to where it can be efficient and smooth and not having to redo things, it makes a big difference. And so I love to hear that. And it echoes what I've heard from our leadership all the way up to our CEO, Peter, saying that, hey, we were birthed out of an agency as we were in the early days and then pivoted into becoming a product company. And so since then, we have been building features for service-based companies, agencies in particular, and those with a similar business model. Over especially the last year or so, we've been focused on bringing that UI and the experience and the design of the platform to the same level of the feature set. And so I think we had a little bit of a leg up that we had really doubled down on one of those two that you were talking about, the features and capabilities, and then brought the design and the UI up to it, because I think a lot of folks maybe try and do both at once, or they just don't have the capabilities to do one or the other. But for one reason or another, meandering path to where we are today, I do agree with you that we've got both of those that benefits both our partners and our customers. Well, David, as we round out the conversation today, you guys have worked with implementing different project management platforms, implementing teamwork, implementing other systems that are vital to any business's operations. When it comes to rolling out a new platform, walking through some of that change management, what do you think are some of the common pitfalls that people make in making that sort of transition? And then second part to that question, what are some of the ways that you guys, particularly at Black Badger, have set up the ways that you work with customers to help them avoid those pitfalls, to kind of scoot them around the potholes that they would otherwise hit in the road?
the first thing I'm going to say is we've spoken a lot about the consulting that I do just want to be very clear. We do not just do consulting. That's our first step. And then we do implementation, do user training, and we do ongoing support. How this ties into question is that how we differentiate is we do focus very heavily on the initial consult so that we know what we're getting into, and customer knows too. One of the biggest pitfalls, again, is the customer looking at a new shiny platform, looks like it's going to do what they want, hears like it's going to do the things they need it to do, but they might not know the right questions to ask, how to ask, dig into it. And, or they just don't have the time to become an expert in the platform to then know, oh, that integration doesn't work the way I wanted it to, or, oh, it doesn't really do what I asked for, or, oh, now I actually need to pay for another person to come in and build a custom integration because it doesn't do that integration that I needed. So how we handle that is doing that initial consult. We saved a lot of people a lot of money by not diving into wrong platform that just doesn't do what they need. And so even if all they took away from that as well is, wow, they asked a lot of questions and I never thought to think of it that way. I never thought to ask those questions that I plan on using. Even from that, they learned next time, or even in a different platform that they wanted to implement that maybe that we don't handle, they were starting to ask a lot of questions about, well, how does it work exactly? Show me. I want a demo. I need to see how this works. So we at least empowered customer to learn how to ask the right questions to find the right platform for themselves. And then what we do is, now that we have exactly what the customer needs and we build the roadmap and we implement it, we train them in how to do it efficiently, effectively. So that way is user and employee buy-in into their platform and it works well. And because everyone likes it, they know how to use it. you don't run into these situations of maybe it was the right platform, knows how to use it, and then they hate it and then they stop using it. So you were even in the right platform. The employees don't think so, or management doesn't think so, and run into that as well. And so having that proper full scale approach that we take all the way through strategic consulting, implementation, user training, and any ongoing support has made our implementations very successful because we don't let things go by the wayside. We make sure that it is the right platform. I mean, half the time that we were checking into these things for customers, we go build them. We test them ourselves if we don't already know the answer. And we actually make sure that if we say the answer is yes, it's because we've done it and we've tested it and it's going to work. And so when they go into it, we don't have customers saying this platform doesn't work. Usually what they might end up saying is we want more, or can it also do this? We didn't realize, and then they start asking for more and more features, which the software may not do or not. But they start engaging and they start being responsible. That is also really one of the purposes we go for, is to have the customers like and use the software so much that they're engaging how to make it even.
Very well said. And I love the systematic approach that you guys have. And as we mentioned earlier in the conversation, I've seen that play out with customers with dozens of users using multiple tools within the Teamwork Suite. So it definitely plays out that way as you're saying it, because you guys do it day in and day out. David, this has been a fantastic conversation. I appreciate your time today, as well as your input, your efforts, and your commitment to this partnership. So thank you for that. If anybody watching this is new to you and the Black Badger team, what's the best way for them to reach out? Maybe they're reevaluating their tech stack. Maybe they think they have the 10th wrong solution and they actually need some deeper consulting like we talked about that your team's able to provide. If they're in that boat, what would you encourage them to do?
Well, they can go straight to our website, Black Badger Biz, and we have a number. We have a chat bot, we have email addresses, contact forms there. They can reach out to me directly, david@blackbadger.biz. Honestly, that's the best two ways. And hey, if you want to call us, we have the phone number as well. I've made it very easy to reach us. You can contact us at 727-306-3201. And, we're happy to communicate any which way you feel the most comfortable with in order to help you in your business.
I love that. Hit that back button on the video there and write down that number. Call now, toll free. No, but I love that you make it easy. Email, chat, contact form, phone, every which way to make it easy, because folks are busy. And especially if you're considering a change to one of your key platforms in your business, there's a lot going on. You need to get the support that can help you as quickly as possible. So David, thank you again for your time today. It's been a pleasure, and really appreciate your contributions to the Teamwork Solution Partner Program. Looking forward to many more successes and helping customers be more efficient, more organized, in everything going forward.
Sam, thank you so much for having me again. You're one of my favorite platforms to work with. I think you're doing fantastic at your job. I do really like working with you. I like how we can shoot back and forth about 20 emails in 20 minutes, and we just get stuff done really quick. And It's fantastic working with you and your team, and I look forward to a lot more.